Manhattan is the bastion of hypocrisy, because I used to do stand-up comedy, and now I'm working in a club doing security in a comedy club. You have to hear how watered down stuff is now.
Welcome back, Patriots. 9/11, 9/11, 9/11. It's probably not a day that goes by when I'm out there I don't get 2, 3 people that ask me about 9/11. The design of which you can see, which would, if you would purchase it, you can get people to ask about it too, and then you too can help maybe seek some justice here. So if you go to my store, you can get the 2 Planes, 3 Buildings t-shirt, cell phone cover, or mug, or print. There's one thing that this is a retired NYPD officer that was there that day, that he says something that is significant in the sense that why a lot of people can't believe that 9/11 was an inside job, that the government would have something to do with it. And it's that he said if I believed that, then everything I believed in my entire life would be a lie. And I had to remind him that it's not the monolithic government, it's the bad players within it. But that is the one thing that blocks a lot of people from it. So you know what you do. If you like it, you like it. If you care, you share. And if you can, you support me. And of course, you pray for me. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the flip side.
So are you guys, how do you lean politically?
In the middle, I guess. In the middle, kind of.
In the middle, kind of? Well, that's good. That shows a bit of intelligence there. So did you have any questions or Amir at all? I mean,
I wanted him to pass the test.
I heard you talking the test, the Democrat test, but I'm not a Democrat. I've been registered.
Yeah, well, you probably already passed it, because you see, I mean, this is primarily for well, to give you an idea, like right now, the LPGQ, RSVP, whatever. You have men, transvestites, dominating women's sports. Now, liberals profess to be for, women, but isn't that a bit unfair? Isn't that kind of hypocritical when you have these guys coming in and dominating women's sports and denying them scholarships?
Some Democrats in instead of that asshole Trump who lies all the time.
Anytime. What lie? Name one lie.
The lie?
Yeah, name a lie.
He cleaned out the swamp, and he appointed all the lobbyists as the heads of the various departments. That's about 10 lies.
That's pretty good.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's a good point. Okay. Now, the other one is concerning economics. Don't you think it's a little bit hypocritical that we have liberals that are socialist lecturing us on economics?
Yes. Extremely hypocritical.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's never worked anywhere in the world, and it's millions and millions of people have died as a result of it. And currently, right now, in Venezuela, it's an example of why it's so bad, what's happening there.
Absolutely. See, I knew you'd have no problem passing this test. Well, the minute you said you were independent, middle of the road, you shows you're a thinker anyway, So that already works.
I try to go like this. What I started to say is there's MMA fighters who were men who had sex change operations, and now they're actively fighting in the MMA against women.
Yeah.
You can't go, and even in boxing, in the same gender. I weigh 240, right? If I go down to 190, I'm still going to have a punch like someone who weighs 240. So it's not fair for me to fight somebody at 190. It's similar to that with the women, with the boxing. So, and with the basketball too, right? There's a couple of What? I don't know. They said they're going to run over there from the
Yeah, there was a guy I spoke to earlier. He says, well, the fair thing to do would be have a whole separate transgender sports.
Pair them off. And
Yeah,
them, right.
and keep them out of the women's altogether. That'd be a fair thing.
What about the whole Muslim world and the idea of the activists? So I'm always in Manhattan. Women's rights. How come they're not screaming about that?
There you go, another
Throwing
hypocritical point.
homosexual men off
Question.
the roof, killing them.
Thank you.
Left and right all the time. They put it in their news, in their government-owned news agency puts it out.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
Manhattan is the bastion of hypocrisy because I used to do stand-up comedy, and now I'm working in a club doing security in the comedy club. You have to hear how watered down
Oh, yeah.
stuff is now. They don't want to offend. You got to listen to like Ron White if you want to hear good stuff. Yeah, and he's pretty liberal actually. But if you want to hear the truth, you have to listen to the comics who do the road.
Yes.
The comics who do the clubs in Manhattan and Los Angeles are
Yeah.
so PC, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
George Carlin's spinning in his grave.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
was a radical liberal, but he spoke the truth. He tried to always speak.
Lenny Bruce is spinning on his grave.
Of course, all of them. Pryor,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's really a shame.
And the liberals today should go back in history and listen to Lenny Bruce. Listen
He
to
went to
George
jail.
Carlin.
He went to jail for cursing. I mean,
Yeah.
turn off the TV. Don't go into the club. Stay out. You don't want to hear that language. It's going to offend you. That's the thing about offense too. Everyone's always looking to be offended.
Yeah. Life's tough. I'm sorry.
Right.
And there's nothing in the Constitution that has anything about your feelings. It isn't, it ain't it.
Pursuit of happiness, not happiness itself.
Thank
Whatever that means.
Yeah, really.
At
That's
my age, I'm
subjective, too.
realizing it's a cap. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm not happy. I always tell my girls, you don't have to find something to do that makes you happy. Just find something to do that you're good at, and that will give you a reward.
Yeah,
What did you do?
Yeah.
What did you do before? I assume you have downtime that you can do this now, so I assume you're retired.
Yeah, I wore a lot of hats.
Okay.
When I did that, so I did a lot of different things. Now I was a political satirical cartoonist, still
Oh,
am.
this is all your stuff?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'd be a real moron to stay out here and catch a piece for someone else's work.
No, I thought this was just like advertising for you. I didn't realize you did it.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. I figured a good thing to do because I was looking. Doing it in the papers one thing, bringing it out of the streets and getting political commentary is a whole nother vitamin.
It's true. So I was NYPD when this happened.
Oh, really?
And the theory is, okay, there's two arguments I've heard. There was 100,000 gallons of diesel fuel stored in these buildings for the terrorist, what do they call it? They, for whatever reason, they put the NYPD, PAPD, Port Authority Police Response Center in this building, so they had 100,000 gallons of diesel fuel. Right. The other theory was that the vibrations from this took this building down, but I had FBI agents tell me on the side that we brought that building down.
Yes, we did.
Because there was stuff in there that they weren't going to be able to get out, and they said it's better to destroy it than have it found.
Well, there's other theories that it was the command center for the strikes themselves.
Well, I don't know. See, when I was younger, I was a big Kennedy theorist, conspiracy theorist. But after being a cop in the largest police department in the world, right, and the largest municipal government in the world, I know you can't keep a secret between any three people.
No, it hasn't been kept. It's out in the wide open.
No, that's what I mean. But there's so many conflicting things even within the conspiracy.
Well,
like the planes. Like where
this
all
is
those
why
people-
I like going specifically straight to the physics. And keeping the politics out of it. Now, I had the opportunity to speak to architects and engineers, one of the original founders of Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth, out here. I beg you to go.
I'll look at it.
Yeah, go look at their site because basically what they're doing is just looking at the physics, and what they're saying is it is impossible for those three buildings to have fallen down the way they did without controlled demolition in it.
But how would you got that stuff in the building?
Oh, again, when you look at what they say, it's not hard to do.
You have to, but too many people have to be involved.
Nanothermite was found in the debris. Now, nanothermite is a high-grade by independent investigators. Nanothermite was found in the debris. Now, nanothermite is a high-grade military explosive that's soluble in liquid. Maintenance men could be painting it on the walls and they wouldn't know it.
I see what you mean. So, but all of it means that the Bush administration and people in his circles, going way back, had to plan this with the intention of going into Iraq Don't you think something smaller could have been done to make us go into Iraq?
It was, no,
something more logical?
because it wasn't just one thing.
Okay.
You see, as a policeman, you know that any time a crime's committed, it could be one motive, it could be several.
Sure.
There were more than just one motive. Now, when you look at it as a policeman, you go, well, who benefits from this crime?
Right. That's where we follow the money.
Right. Who benefited? Who benefited? It was
Cheney, all his cronies, right? I mean,
the military-industrial complex, the national security
guys
state.
and how it warned us about.
Now, if you remember at the time, it was a peace dividend. What are we going to do with all this peace we were getting into? Well, we are a war economy.
Well, we're war, species.
Yeah, well, indeed, but this economy is, since World War II, we've been on,
yes.
you know. So we always need an enemy in order to keep that up there. Well, peace ain't working, you know, for the generals
Doesn't help
and
the
for the military-industrial complex.
Right.
So,
And there was nothing on the horizon that could be a full-blown war unless we started it. Well, you know, do you know the theory? It's digressing, it's a little bit tangential. There's a book by Nelson DeMille, called Firefight or Fire something. In the preface, he says, I can't say with 100% accuracy that this is true, but I have spoken to people in the military who feel this is true. That after 9/11, the Bush administration told all the heads of all the Muslim countries that if a nuclear weapon goes off on American soil, we're going to assume it was you meaning everybody, and we're going to launch the missiles that used to be pointed at the Soviet Union at all the capitals of the Muslim states. Then the novel is about a far right-wing group that wants to blow a bomb up in Nevada, in Vegas, so that they think it was the Muslims, and they'll launch the missiles. But
There's
then
a
that
lot-
argues in the opposite, though.
I just I always point people to this book right here. This is,
I've heard of this, too.
yeah, Peter
I
Dale
listen to
Scott.
Hannity, I listen to Rush,
Yeah.
listen to podcasts like crazy, which if you haven't gotten into yet, you should.
Knowing that these guys will never tell us the whole truth because they can't.
Right. Part of the whole.
Yeah, I listen to, you know, the independent news guys who, you know, sell their own products or take donations from us. They aren't beholden to anybody but the truth. I myself have been out here and taken testimony from other police officers who were there that day, EMTs, firemen, that have given me stories that are unexplainable, that were never shown in the news. So we haven't been told the whole truth about that, and because of that, that's why I'm looking, okay. And Donald Trump himself, matter of fact, the other day he came out and said it again. When he was running, this is a quote, he says, if you elect me president, you will find out who really brought down the Twin Towers.
And then he never repeated it again, right?
No, the other day he came out and pretty much said the same thing. He says, I have a suspicion that the people are going to find out who brought down the Twin Towers, not the ones they said they were.
Well, Flight 800, I'm pretty sure was a bomb. I think Flight 800 was a terrorist act.
Sure, yeah.
And it was the summer you were born, summer before you were born. The plane was flying to Paris from JFK, and it just, for no reason, well, they sent a fuel tank, blew up over Long Island, and everybody on board was dead.
Yeah.
Cops and firefighters who were out on their boats fishing, off duty, said they saw a trail go up to the plane. That's what they told
Yeah.
them. They were told that's not what you saw. You saw pieces falling from the plane. Your mind's playing tricks on yourself. Then I met a retired detective from the arson investigation unit. He was a little drunk, and he said to me, there was something on that plane.
Yes.
And he said to me, it was great. What just happened, right, 3 months
Why
ago?
wouldn't you believe that?
Because that was put there by terrorists. The bomb was put on the plane by terrorists, probably, not by the American government. That's why this is a little harder for me to fully accept, because then my whole life is a lie. That's how I kind of look at it.
Well, you
People
got
say not
when you say the government, that's a big monolithic thing.
Yeah.
We're talking about the deep state, which is not.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
Probably
It's
not like
bad players within the government.
I know.
So.
You have an email address on your thing?
Oh yeah, it's on the back of this get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton.
That's
And you can go see some of my other interviews out here and,
That's awesome.
and whatnot. And you know.
We don't have to take two from you, right? We live in the same house. So, all right. I just don't want to waste
Oh,
your...
no, go ahead, take it. It's,
What's your name?
Mike DeBerry.
Joe Badalamenti. D-E-B-A-R-I?
D-I capital B-A-R-I. Paisan. Hey,
My wife's maiden name is Barassi.
all right. Okay.
From Naples, from
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, lots of.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
All right.
I'll touch base with you.
All right. God bless you. It was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Retired from the Department of Homeland Security, was head of critical infrastructure for the entire nation. And we spoke about this.
Watch your feet, sir. Coming around.
And he has questions about 9/11, which surprised me. Usually when you get guys that high up in the government, you know, they're compartmentalized and they're defensive. This guy actually was questioning 9/11. He said there's something wrong with it.
The entire thing?
Yeah, we're not being told the truth.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he knew critical infrastructure. He was a critical structural engineer.
Right.
And he says buildings do not come down like that. It's impossible.
Well, yeah, no, I've heard it before.
Yeah.
And I've watched like a documentary or like a YouTube video about it, about that World Trade Center 7 too,
Yeah.
why it's collapsed.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is questionable.
It does,
All
yeah.
about it. I mean, it's been my pet peeve for damn near 20 years now. I mean, you know, is the fact that I remember when I was watching it collapse, first thing out of my mouth was, they blew them up. They blew them up. I'm screaming on the phone, talking to a friend, you know, they blew them up, because that's what my mind saw. It's what I saw. So when they started coming out saying they collapsed because of, you know, fires and all this bullshit, I said, it's impossible. It just doesn't work. And then you start doing the investigation. You see the architects who actually built the building on camera saying, we built those buildings like a screen door. So, you know, if something, it's like if you took a pencil and you punch it in a screen door, the whole door doesn't collapse, it holds its integrity.
Right.
So he says that's how we built those buildings. So if a plane went into it, it wouldn't collapse the building.
They did actually design the building to withstand a plane.
Yeah. And then, of course, building number 7 is the biggest mystery of all. What made that go down?
Yeah. I'll show you a video right there. It is, when you see it happen, it just kind of does make you question how the building collapsed in the first place.
Yeah, I got it on video right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it 47 stories tall, housed all 16 of our intelligence agencies and the mayor's emergency bunker. It was a fortress.
Right.
I mean, you could shoot a howitzer in it from here to the brick building down there, and it wouldn't crack the window. And yet the thing did this in 6 seconds?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, he didn't know that was that's what I was telling him.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Oh, thank you.
You're watching forever. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Go Trump.
Amen. Oh, you know what he said when he was running that perked my ears?
What?
Said, you elect me president, you will find out who really brought down the Twin Towers. Quote, unquote. Nah, kidding. I know. Well, we got a deep state we got to dig through. There's so many obvious.
Well, I mean, like the insurance on it, that was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It was like what, like 40 billion or something like that.
Yeah.
Like the dude did a insurance policy on it, like a little bit right before, and it was like per building. It's just, it was 2 planes and 2 buildings. He got paid double.
Yeah. Yeah. And then all of it. I mean,
It was like over 300 engineers said that's impossible for it to collapse that way.
3,000.
Oh, 3,000. There we go.
Yeah, architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth at the bottom there. I actually got to meet one of the originators out here and had a good interview with him. And there's a suit going through New York right now on building number 7. So they're going to be able to present the evidence in court, which is going to be interesting.
They get thrown out.
One of the things that Donald Trump said when he was running that made me go, what? He said, and this is a quote, you elect me president, you will find out who really brought down the Twin Towers.
They haven't really announced anything.
Well, you know, we're dealing with a huge deep state and a lot of bureaucracy. So, I mean, a lot of people know the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to the man who is head of critical infrastructure for Homeland Security for the entire nation out here about 3 weeks ago. He questions 9/11.
I dated the director of marketing at Homeland Security. Yeah.
Yeah.
So same thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of them on the inside that know, but, you know, they can't speak out because, you know, they'll lose their jobs, their pensions, their families will get threatened. on and on. But if we just keep on plugging away, making noise, maybe, it's all we can do.
It is what it is.
It's all we can do.
Hey, can I get you to light my cigarette?
Well, if you like that one, you know what to do. You hit the like button. If you care, you share it. Subscribe, then subscribe again. And then if you really want to join the fight, well, you go get go get that design and let other people know the truth. All right, God bless you. Thanks for coming by, and I'll see you on the street.